Last time I talked about health and losing weight, and I've definitely done really good. Dropped 18 pounds in the last 4 months. Now I'm kind of stable. I'm not really gaining, I'm not losing, so I've got to burn, I want to burn about 4 to 6 more pounds, and that is going to require some heavy-duty, high-output carb or fat burning to get rid of the fat part. But everything else has gone really good. So listen to last month's video if you want to get some info on cutting back a little bit, dropping your blood sugar, taking care of yourself. One thing that I will say that's really interesting that I learned, I'm not diabetic, but one thing I learned is, what is it, like one out of 11 people in the U.S. is pre-diabetic and they don't know about it. So there's like 11 million people that don't know about it. The really cool thing, get your blood sugar checked. The really awesome thing is that it's kind of a good warning sign. It's not a bad thing, it's a good thing. If your numbers are way up there, you are pre-diabetic for life, and you will never be able to undo being pre-diabetic. The neat thing is that you can control your diet. And if you control your diet and do some exercise, but mainly you control that diet, you can keep your numbers, you can lower your numbers, you can lower that pre-diabetic number to a safe point. And as long as you regulate your eating for the rest of your life, you should not ever become diabetic. You could, but chances are you won't. So a lot of people are really misinformed by their doctor. The doctor says, oh, you're pre-diabetic, you know, we'll check you in 3 months, we'll check you in 6 months, we'll check you in a year. Your numbers keep going up and up and up, and next thing you know, you're on the needle because the doctor didn't tell you. Get this under control now, and you will be stabilized, hopefully for life, and you will not go on the needle anymore. So it's an incredibly awesome warning sign that you find that out. Most people don't find it out. Most people don't know. And next thing you know, their numbers are up and they're diabetic and they're going on the needle because they need to. Now, they could be so high up there that if they corrected that blood sugar right away, if they went in for a hardcore fixing, they could probably drop those numbers down. But when your numbers are around I think it's 5.8 or 5.9, you got a big warning sign there, and it's a good warning sign because it's telling you, get yourself in shape now and drop these numbers. And if you drop them down to a regular position, a regular number, a safe area, you'll be okay for the rest of your life. And while you won't get rid of the problem, it won't progress. You shouldn't wear out the blood cells. You shouldn't become insulin resistant, and you should be okay. The problem is, if you don't get it under control, you will become insulin resistant. You will kill off those blood cells the blood cells won't be able to recognize the insulin anymore. Your liver will pump out so much insulin, and next thing you know, your numbers are going to be up, and then you're going to be dealing with neuropathy, numbing of the legs, maybe leg amputation, maybe going blind, maybe heart attacks. Heart attacks are really big. Strokes are really big because you've got lots of fat, visceral fat, and all that other stuff in your body, and it's slowly killing you. So, again, a really good warning sign for the awesome Preve people out there. Get yourself in shape. It's really nice to eat food. If you don't have a problem, you're good. Check your blood sugar. If you don't have a problem, have the doctor check it out, have the A1C1 test done, and do your own research. Just don't depend on what the doctor says, because a lot of doctors will let people slide because they don't want to deal with treating people like children and trying to get them to do what they really should be doing anyway. So get those numbers checked, and if they're way up there, just stop eating. Stop the sodas. It's your life. It's your future. Whether you're doing it for you or your family, or to be around longer, or so you don't suffer in a hospital. It's your future, so cut out that soda. Not cut it out or once a week, just cut it out. Take the rice, throw it away. You don't need rice. If you need to have a burrito, go to the store, get a burrito every once in a while. Look at the carb numbers on the labels. Really good piece of advice for a lot of people that don't know. A serving of carbs is 15 grams. On the label, it will say 15 Gs. Serving of carbs is 15 grams. The average person should be having 3 servings per meal, not per day, per meal. So that means that you should be having 15 plus 15 plus 15. You should be having 45 grams of carbs per meal. Your average soda is about 20-some carbs. Your average slice of pizza is about 30-some carbs. So if you go in and have a slice of pizza and a soda and some other stuff, you've already blown your blood sugar way out. Does that matter? Can you cut back in the next meal? No, you can't. That's the other important thing you need to know. You cannot cut back in the next meal. You need to make sure you don't go over that amount of carbs. 3 servings, maybe 4 if you work out really hard, then you need those carbs for building your muscles and working out. But if you're the average person, you need about 3 servings of carbs. So look at the label, make sure it says 1 serving. Look at it. If it says 2 servings and these are the numbers, you don't want that. You've got to calculate 1 serving and look at the carb label, and if it says 30 grams, that is 2 servings. So if you have 2 servings, you've got another thing that you can have that's another 15 grams, and that's it for the meal. What happens if you overload and you have 60 grams? If you go and have pancakes and eggs and sausage and donuts, you've overloaded. Your body is trying to regulate the blood sugar. It's pumping out massive amounts of insulin to regulate it, and it overloads. If you're insulin resistant, then the liver just pumps out way more insulin than you need, and to try to correct everything, and you end up becoming diabetic. Your numbers go up. But if you correct this stuff and you start eating right, your numbers should go down. That is the thing nobody tells you. They should go down. They will go down, unless you are diabetic. If your pancreas or liver are just shot, if you're insulin resistant and the organs are gone, which happens if you keep doing this, you'll get to a point, you keep doing it, though that system will not work anymore. And when you get to that point, you're on the needle for life. Even if you regulate, chances are very good you've damaged the body enough and it's not going to work the way it should. Sorry about all this talking. Let me get a sip of water. I know I could have shut off the cam, but why do that? So we're almost done. 25, 35, 45, almost at 20 minutes. We're at 17 minutes. I don't know what the battery usage is. So get yourself in shape, really important. Not for me, but for you. Because it's definitely a good time to be living, so we can watch and see what the DT is going to do to this country and what's going to happen to the world. We're living in crazy times with crazy people and angry people and just so much stuff happening in the news. Incredible. I watch it and it's pathetic, but you can't help but laugh at all these fools out there. Unbelievable fools that think they're right. They're broke. They don't have any money. They don't have a job. They're begging for everything for the government, but then they're angry that things are the way they are, and they want it to stop. How many people say, don't give me Social Security, don't give me medical, don't give me benefits, don't give me help? A fascinating thing here, if you look back in history, and if you look, you don't even have to look back in history, you look at what's going on in the country now. Who collects the most government benefits in the United States? White males, number one, and all Republican states, all red states collect the most government benefits in the country, and they have since about 1960. So when you hear people say that it's other races or it's a bunch of slackers and they don't work and they're getting government benefits and government cheese, that is a lie that was started decades ago to fool the people. And it definitely worked. Kind of like the email server, it worked. People think that minorities and others from out of the country are collecting government benefits. Nope. It is, yeah, I'm white, but it's the white males. It's the white population in the Republican states that are collecting a majority of the benefits. And they got something coming to them when this new Congress comes in and decides to cut back the money on the people that put them in office. So, as far as Obamacare, come on. Obamacare is never going to go. The GOP has been saying they were going to repeal it forever. They have no plan. They have no idea. The insurance companies came out and said, don't even mess with the system or you are not going to know what happened because everything will fall apart overnight. And for those that say repeal it or change it, impossible. Even the GOP has told the Dems, we will go on your side and vote to make sure things don't get changed here because they don't know how to deal with it. There are no plans. There are no plans for anything. There are no plans for Mr. Pumpkinhead and what he wants to do.